Victocrats allowed. Why? Because we've got a country to save. Join me, Larry Elder, tonight starting at 7 on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Part of the immigration debate that is raging, particularly in the wake of the terrorist attack in Manhattan. One, it's about security. That's one aspect of it. It's also about dependency and the idea of people coming into this country to access welfare state benefits, not necessarily to kind of contribute and grow opportunity in the country. That's one of the arguments that's made. But there's a problem with that as well. I mean, one, it's easily addressed. But two, and I mentioned the statistic before, but this comes to us from a book on the welfare state by John Cogan, Stanford University, and the Hoover Institute, a history of U.S. federal entitlement programs. 41%, this is 2015, 41% of America's non-elderly headed households receive entitlement benefits. 41%.
41?
So when you want to talk about unwinding the welfare state, redundant anti-poverty programs, counterproductive anti-poverty programs, those that are dependency-inducing and soul-crushing, it's certainly not solely a recent immigration problem. It's a cultural problem in America. For more on this topic, we're pleased to be joined by Robert Doar, who is a American Enterprise Institute scholar and former commissioner of the New York City Human Resources Administration. Robert, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Well, thanks for having me, Dan and Amy.
You're
right.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Right. I was just going to say that the extent to which people are receiving benefits is far greater than you would expect, and it's not just immigrants or poor inner city residents. And the key distinction is, are they working? The most important thing we need to do is to get people who are out of the labor force into work. And if they need a little assistance to make that work go a little further, I can accept that. But we have too many people that are not working because they're able to receive assistance that keeps them limited but acceptable. So work is the key.
Work is the key. And so with respect to all of the quote-unquote anti-poverty programs and food support programs, many of which seem to be kind of redundant and either redundant in one hand and at odds with one another in another hand, what are some things that we could do that we should be advocating to address what you're describing, incentivizing work rather than dependency?
So in the programs that provide, for instance, food assistance, like the food stamp program, public health insurance, like Medicaid, instead of running them in a way that says, here, let me take your information and give you your card and get you out the door and I'll see you later, we should say, we want to help you, but we also want to help you get the job. And too often in those programs, they work, say no.
Robert, you're cutting out on us a bit there. Are you still there?
The key ingredient, I'm still here, the key ingredient is to require work in return for assistance. We need to be saying to people that it's a two-way street, and there's a reciprocal responsibility, both from the government to provide assistance, but also from the person receiving assistance to be making a move towards self-sufficiency.
Well, what happened? Because I thought that's what we did in the mid-'90s when we leveled up the successful welfare-to-work programs in Midwestern states like Wisconsin and Michigan to federal entitlement reform. And it seems that now, 20 years plus later, we're having the same conversation we were having in the 90s.
Well, we did it in one program, and we did it well in one program. But over the years, and partly due to the Obama administration efforts, we loaded up these other programs that are not the Temporary Assistance for Needy Families program that has a strong work requirement. And they're either tax credits or food stamps or disability assistance or Medicaid. And those have kind of brought back this dependency problem, which we need to spend time because the economy is stronger and be helping people move to work.
And so that's one aspect of it. And then as we're talking about immigration, help us inform that debate. One of the things I've suggested, and I'm not the only one, Steve Moore and others have suggested it too, is the idea, look, there's no constitutional right to transfer benefits. So for immigrants that want to come to this country and say they want to work and improve their lives and improve America in so doing, prove up, sign a waiver to welfare state benefits for some for period or for some particular initial period of time to really put your name on the line that's exactly what you're planning on doing when you're getting here. What about that?
I was a strong opponent in New York City, which is a very pro-immigration city. Of sure, come here just for the purpose of getting citizens. People that were supposed to sponsor or support people came here, that they stepped up to it too. It is true that not all immigrants are on welfare, but it's also true that some portion are, and we need to be facing up to that. The idea is to come to the United States to work and to move up, not to receive welfare.
Well, do you know the percentage of immigrants that come here that are on welfare?
I don't know the percentage. It's significant, but it's not overwhelming. I do know that in New York City, we spent hundreds of millions of dollars supporting recent arrivals in various welfare programs. Now, some of them are work support, which make work go further, but Medicaid, for instance, provided assistance to recent immigrants, and both legal and illegal, and we need to be clear about that and do what we can to ensure that the comment between the arrived prospective citizen and the government is, we're expecting you to come here to work and to move up.
Last week it was reported that the food stamp rolls have declined by 1.5 million people since Trump took office. Is that a product of a growing economy with more opportunity, or is there something else afoot in terms of reforming that program?
It's principally the growing economy, but 1 million is still above 40 million, and it's still far above where it was prior to the recession. And so we've got a long way to go there. I'm hoping that the Trump administration brings some new policies into that program that are focused on work. They say they're going to, and if they do, then I think more people will move into work, and there'll be less need for food stamp benefits.
All right. He is Robert Doar, American Enterprise Institute scholar, former commissioner for the New York City Human Resources Administration. Robert, thanks so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
This is the morning.